Hello and welcome back to the Oracle Scroll. Today, we're discussing inspiration. Hi there, Kevin Walder, your host for the Oracle Scroll. Thank you for joining me again today. As we continue to work our way through this little deck that I'm still playing with, still not quite sure what to make of it just yet, but we'll find out. All things are revealed in their own due time. Today, the card is number 18, Inspiration. Inspiration means many things to many people. We talked about this a little bit in one of the other cards recently about how no one of us are exactly like another. We're all unique, just like everybody else. Make any sense? That does make sense. So here we are, inspiration. Inspiration comes after you've had the idea, you've had the concept, and suddenly you start to see examples of what you might do, what you might be able to accomplish, what might be important about your idea, your concept. Inspiration is the product of all that research, all that work, and putting yourself into that particular situation where you can experience it before it ever happens. Inspiration is all part of that. We have many opportunities to be inspired. We can be inspired by art. We can be inspired by music. We can be inspired by a particularly well-written novel or article or opinion piece. There are many inspirations out there. We can be inspired by nature. We might be inspired in the kitchen. Who knows? But each of us has our own unique way of experiencing inspiration. And you'll know, you get that bit of a tingle when you've hit a nerve and you realize, oh, this is something I really like. This is something I really need to get involved with. This is something I need in my life to accomplish what I need to accomplish. So inspiration is one of those things that we just simply can't live without. It's what keeps us moving and motivated. And we've already talked about motivation. Inspiration comes a little bit before that. Inspiration is kind of the end of a process, and motivation becomes the beginning of a process. Sort of like that. If we notice the card number 18, that extrapolates out to a 9, which is a very complete kind of feeling. So once you've achieved that inspiration, you suddenly feel like you know exactly your direction, you know where you're headed, you know what you're going to do, and you even have a faint idea of how you're going to do it. Sometimes inspiration is a matter of knowing what you want, not necessarily knowing exactly how you're going to get it. That comes with motivation. That's when you find out how you're going to accomplish it. But inspiration is the key to the entire process. Once you have the concept and you move it from an idea to an, oh, look at this, and you start to experience the butterflies and you start to experience the feelings of excitement that go with inspiration. Many people have chosen different ways of being inspired. Some are not necessarily positive ways, and that is something we'll need to watch out for in our own lives. Let's make sure our inspiration is clean and make sure it is exactly what we need in our lives, not a response to someone else's inspiration or lack thereof, for that matter. So inspiration is an important, and actually it's absolutely imperative that we have that in our lives. Inspiration can come from many different directions, many different sources, and we need to acknowledge and honor those sources. And then we need to make sure we are, taking inspiration from the right people. Let's face it, we could be inspired by something very evil, and that's not what we're after. So we need to make sure that we have a clean existence and a clean idea of what our inspiration is going to be. So as we go forth, let's be inspired. Let's look for ways to be inspired. Or, better yet, let's look for ways to be inspiring. Have you ever had that experience of finding out that you inspired something? You inspired someone to aspire to something? That can be very rewarding. So let's work on that. For this remainder of 2020, let's work on how we're going to be inspired and inspiring. Thank you once again for joining us for this episode of the Oracle Scroll. My books, Tarot for Lunch, Lessons from the Cards, and more recently, 22 Teachers, Healing Lessons from the Major Arcana, are both available on Amazon.com. Please check them out. They are very informative and helpful in learning and understanding the tarot. Also, please stop by kevinwalder.com, my website. You can book appointments for any of the services available at that spot. So stop by and take a look today. And most importantly, please subscribe by hitting the little red button down below, and also click the bell to make sure you don't ever miss an episode.